Isaac got married on Sunday? Well, Isaac's one of our guys who works on Howard TV.
Great guy.
What did you say?
He's on his honeymoon.
Oh, too bad. Because...
What?
After all that telling about how Ralph inappropriate, I'm going to be the... Here's a story about me being the most inappropriate.
Artie accepted the invitation. I had RSVP'd that I wasn't coming.
Right.
Although I did send Isaac a gift, which he'll probably get when he gets back. But anyway, Artie was going to the wedding.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Again, Isaac invited me to the wedding. Me and Isaac are friends. I think he's great. I know his wife, his now wife.
Susie.
They were getting married Sunday, and I went out Friday night, and I slept a day and a half.
Get out of here.
Hungover. And
you slept a day and a half?
I woke up Saturday afternoon. And again, this is what happens. If I don't have, like, a woman in my life to take care of me like a little baby, I forget stuff like this. So I totally forgot about the wedding. And I guess I have other friends who were going. All it would have taken is one guy to go, Art, how you getting to the wedding? You want to go together? Like, there was not one call like that. I know Richard went. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm sitting there like in a daze, hungover, reading the sports section. I didn't remember till last night at 10 o'clock. I gander over at my fucking refrigerator, and I see the invitation, and I had a feeling of such horror.
Wait a minute. You didn't go to the refrigerator all weekend?
I did, but it's like, this is what happens. I put it up.
When you hang stuff on a refrigerator, you don't...
I put it up a month ago. It became part of the refrigerator. Right. And I totally... I look at it and I go, I didn't go to fucking Isaac's wedding, and I didn't even call... So now, it was too...
crap.
I heard a rumor, too, Robin, that you bailed on Isaac's wedding a week before the event.
He knew that was a possibility.
Oh, okay.
It was too late. It was too late to call him. It was 10 o'clock last night, so I said, listen, I'm sure people at the show know about this. I'm going to have to deal with it. I sat down and I literally wrote a 3-page apology.
You should read that on the air.
You want me to?
You should make it public.
Well, let me
give it. Is it boring or is it good?
It's me thinking of every self-deprecating, awful thing about myself.
Don't read it then.
Before he said, no, you know what? If he wants to, I'll give it to him. If he wants to read it, he can read it. But I also, and of course, to put a period at the end of the inappropriate
you
sentence,
have to give a huge gift.
I gave more money because I feel so guilty.
What'd you give him?
I'm not going to say that. He could read the note and say how much if he wants. But I got it sealed here, marked to him. And guys, I'll say this to when I see you. I'm so sorry, guys. I felt horrible.
Because when I did bail, Isaac said, well, Artie's going to be there by himself.
Oh, God.
Well, no, he's not, actually.
By the way, I know I told that assistant of mine to remind me about this. But anyway, I'm not going to... I'm not going to blame him.
It's time you went to franklincovey.com, got yourself an appointment book, and started taking responsibility for this shit.
You're right.
This is what Howard's been preaching all along.
I'm telling you, it enables you to become a man.
I don't forget about gigs where I'm getting paid, that's for sure.
That's true.
That's true. You never sleep through those.
Isaac's a good guy, and I feel terrible about it. And I'll give him this Magna Carta.
Come on!
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, so...
I feel like a little baby. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 39. I forgot to go to a friend's wedding.
When are you going to turn 40? It seems like you've been 39 for about 5 years.
I'm Jack Benny.
You know what's weird?
October 11th.
The weird part of Isaac's wedding, and this is why we got to get him in here when he comes back from his honeymoon. Where'd he go?
I don't even know. I don't know.
If you'd been at the wedding, you might have found out.
Yeah. I might have known.
I feel terrible.
So anyway, he had the most random invite list. You know how we always have trepidation about throwing a party because you have to cut certain people off?
Yeah.
But it was like I got invited, you got invited. Now, some people were pissed Artie got invited over them because they were like, well, I know Isaac longer. Like, Gary didn't get invited.
Gary didn't get an invite?
And he even said to me, look, I'm not complaining. I don't want to go to a fucking wedding. But
not on no Labor Day weekend.
No. Oh, people who get married on Labor Day weekend, you want to take them and smash their head into a fucking wall. You want to smash their head into a wall.
Well, that's a whole other rap, but, look, I went to his bachelor party. I did a shot with his best man. I was like, I can't wait for the wedding. It's my bad. Sometimes you drop the ball. I drop the ball, but, Teddy, fuck him. It's his fault.
It's already 5 after 10. I didn't even get to Teddy versus Artie from yesterday.
I know.
I kind of thought Artie was a little out of line.
It sounds like Artie's kind of a tyrant.
Listen, ultimately, I was breaking his chops. But I said it would, in this case, it would have been me going, wow, that's impressive. But the fucked up thing is I've met assistants of other people where they go, it's unbelievable how great they are. And
yeah,
I held him to a higher standard, but then he started saying stuff that you should just never say to him.
I kind of dug him. He was saying, like, you know what, Artie? Yeah. I remember you hired Teddy to fill music on your iPod.
Right, that was the initial
mail.
And then to open your mail. And then all of a sudden now he's morphing into your everything go-to guy.
No.
But he's got a full-time job here.
No.
And he even said to you, Artie, I'm not devoted to you because I can only do it part-time. And originally,
no, we had to. You're not saying correct things right now.
I'm not.
No, we had discussions off the air where he became my assistant in every way. I needed him, and he's compensated for it. And it's he's taken care of. I realized that. I did say, look, your job here has to come first because, that's just how it is. But, I mean, I was breaking his balls with this. I didn't really expect him to fucking think of reminding me about the wedding, and I enjoy busting his chops. But there's times he's dropped the ball, I think, and I bust his balls too much.
So here from the wrap-up show yesterday is, in case you missed it, I had missed it, and I heard these clips, and I thought they were worth playing. It's Artie and his assistant, Teddy. And Artie, upset that he missed the big wedding, Isaac's wedding. And
right. And
trying to
blame Teddy for it.
A little bit, yeah. Here, listen to this.
But we got to start off with Mr. Lang, since he's here, and that letter that he wrote to Isaac. Now, Art, I know you've explained it on the show a little bit, but when you get up and you go to your refrigerator and you see that invitation, like, are you completely devastated at that point?
Yeah, it's like a punch in the stomach. I went, I completely missed something. Just completely missed something that I promised I'd go to, at the age of 39. And, it makes you feel like shit. So I sat down, and it was too late to even call them. I figured I'd come in here and people would find out sooner or later, so I'd have to deal with it on the air. And
I'm going to bring up something.
I wrote the letter and I just let it flow out there.
I'm going to bring up something a little uncomfortable, Artie.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to because you brought it up on the air this morning. And I know we're all in the same room. And I'm not picking on anybody, but you do have a personal assistant.
Right.
So what happened there? Is this part of his job or not necessarily?
I don't know, Ted. Is this part of your job?
If I was asked to remind you about something, I would have. I'll leave it at that. Did
you tell him to remind you? Because if you didn't tell him, then you can't really blame him.
Again, he got in touch with me through Isaac to get back to him with an RSVP about whether I was going by myself or not, like about 10 days. So he was aware that I had a wedding to go to. And he gives me a schedule. Did you put that on any schedule?
No, I never knew when it was. I just knew to ask you if you're going alone or not alone. That was it.
Right, but that was a major discussion.
Yeah, you just told me, tell Isaac I'll be there. Not
this is where
he
whines. This is where he gets.
No, but see, I know. This
is where he gets. This is where I want to strangle him.
Look,
because he's acting like a bitch. This is when I hired an Envision. When I hired a personal assistant, I envisioned, what do they have to be? They have to be everything I'm not. Like, I'm clearly a mess, right? So they have to be, like, insanely efficient. It has to be like, oh, by the way, okay, you got that wedding, you got this, you got that. And he gives me do you think I'm asking for too much for him to realize that we're going back and forth with his RSVP, find out when the wedding is from Isaac, and put it on my schedule?
Well, I think that I know what Artie's saying, that's what he envisions, and you're saying that while you didn't tell Teddy directly to remind you of the wedding, you hope that on some level that they're so super efficient because they know that you're not,
right? That
they would just be that. I understand what you're saying. So it's a gray area because you're hoping for Teddy to be something that you haven't asked him to be. But you're just hoping he's that person anyway.
Right. But then it's like he talks back to me. It's like, I don't know how to react to that.
Look, I don't know. It was all news to me this morning. So.
But you remember the conversation.
3 weeks ago, Isaac called me and said, find out if Artie, or whenever it was a long time ago.
But one of the things you do is you make up my schedule, right?
Look, if I worked for you full-time, I would probably all day think about, what does Artie have to do now? What does Artie have to do now?
You make up my schedule.
Yeah, your part-time stand-up road schedule and a couple of interviews here and there. Not your daily, I got to get up at this time
But
schedule.
that's what a personal assistant does.
Well, then fine. Then whatever. Then that's not...
Gary, do you see what I'm dealing with here?
No,
Am I raising my voice?
I'm done with this conversation. It wasn't my fault that you slept through a wedding.
Ted is done with this conversation.
That's it.
So how do I react?
I'm at my full-time job right now, so let me just...
This is your full-time job?
Yes.
So now Ted is done with the conversation, so where do I go from here? Gar?
I can tell you where to go.
The guy I pay
and nobody in the world
told me he's done with the conversation.
Nobody in the room is going to like what I have to say. You're either going to have to decide that this is what it is, and this is, this is the assistant that you have, and this is what you get out of him, or you're going to have to look for more, and that probably more money.
This is my fault. Ultimately, missing the wedding is my fault, without question. This would be asking an assistant to do something that would be like, wow.
But you've seen
that's fucking great.
Okay, what's the chick's name was like Norm's assistant forever? Was it Lori
Jo? Yeah.
Right. Like we've seen her operate.
Right.
And it's on another level.
Right.
And so I think you see that.
But she was a full-time
assistant. That's her only job.
Right. I understand.
That's it. Their only job. I was doing Labor Day specials and all this other bullshit here at my full-time job. I'm done. That's it. Let's talk about something else.
So now he's producing the show.
All right, Jim.
Teddy, are you frustrated?
Yeah.
Teddy, you going to walk out?
I don't know. I just need a break.
Which job are you walking out on?
I need a breather.
But which job are you walking out on?
The
serious
so fucking
job
hard, man.
my
It's
job?
tough. I cringe coming in here now and getting text messages while I'm on a bus from Jersey from friends of mine saying,
it's not my fault you live in Jersey.
Damn, or oh shit. And then I can't wait to walk into work and find out what's my fault this time.
This would have been asking this.
Artie Lang forgot to take a shower.
If Ted had called me Thursday night, but by the way, he didn't call me at all this weekend to see how I was doing. I don't remember the last time I talked to you. Right, so Friday. So I haven't heard from you. This is the first time I'm seeing Ted since Friday, or talking to him.
But what did you need him for this weekend?
That's the point, Gar. Maybe I needed him for something. Call me up.
How about the plans we made for the Monday, the first day of vacation? Big plans. I was going to come to your place, set up the iPhone and everything.
As your boss, I said I don't want to do that anymore.
No, you didn't. I just didn't hear from you until Wednesday.
But
I will tell you that.
But dude, I don't. I pay you.
I parked in Hoboken. I went to Hoboken that day. Spent money on parking. I'm sitting there. Took the ferry to work. Did my job at work. Took the ferry back to Hoboken. And sat outside your place.
That's no concern to me.
Okay.
That's of no concern.
I was ready to go do the work that you and I discussed we were going to do.
The work I needed you to do was just sit there and not do anything. You were doing exactly what I wanted you to do. You weren't bothering me.
Yeah, but we had made plans to do something on Monday as far as getting your iPhone hooked up.
Right. And I decided to blow it off.
All right, so then call me and tell me you're going to blow it off. That way I won't be sitting in Hoboken like a schlub, my thumb up my ass.
No. First of all, that's exactly where I wanted you, sitting there like a schlub.
Okay, well.
With your thumb up your ass.
All right.
I will tell you in the past that Teddy has told me, and other people too, that he tries to work for you, and you're not that accessible sometimes.
Right. That's part of why I need somebody to, help me out, because sometimes I just don't feel like talking.
You need to see your assistant's name on the caller ID and say, I'd like to pick this up.
Just times I don't feel like talking to him, And I mean, it's not my fault if his feelings are hurt by that.
That's not it. It's just frustrating. It's just tough, and it's harder, and it's become something that I don't like anymore.
Listen. If Ted had said to me, "Listen, Art, clearly you're a mess, and Isaac has a wedding coming up, right? If you were my assistant and someone said to you, could you find out if Artie's coming to my wedding alone or not? As someone who does my schedule, would you have said, by the way, when is that wedding? And when they told you the wedding, would you have put that on my schedule and made a note to maybe let me know about it?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yes, I would have. But that's me.
So you would have had the foresight to go, here's a wedding that Artie has in his life. Let me find out the date.
Well, especially...
Let me write the date on his calendar. I wasn't aware that he was only doing work shit on my calendar.
I would do it especially if I were working for you, because I know that organization isn't your strong suit.
It's the biggest area I need help in.
I don't know.
There's clearly a lack of communication. Artie Lang.
It would be something where I'd go, wow, that's what I need. Someone to go someone to anticipate that I would have that on my schedule and need to be reminded about it. If he had called me Friday night and said, look, Art, you got Isaac's wedding tomorrow, you all set? That would have been, wow. That's
Artie, let me ask you a question.
That's something else, but clearly he's
Ted,
not into that.
I'm just trying to figure out your relationship. Is Ted your life assistant or your personal assistant for appearances? That's where I think the confusion. He thinks he's clearly hired to do appearances and when you're on the road. And it sounds like it's taking. I don't know. He's wigging out.
He's noticing that Doug's mic does not sound that good.
And I need to get someone to help him fix.
Oh, wow.
Working.
So you're anticipating.
I think you got to go over to the other mic behind Teddy.
Hello? This is it. We
Good?
got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I need that same sort of see where you figured out a problem and troubleshot right
needs
there?
to be a step ahead, proactive.
He should be, yeah.
But I think the problem is I don't think Ted thinks he's your life assistant.
I'm not.
I mean, that's where the frustration is. It sounds like
Ted has a girlfriend.
I'm saying I'm not yours. I'm not going to wake you up.
I'm not asking you to do anything a girlfriend would do.
If I called you for the day of the wedding, I would have called you 19 times and said, Art, you got a wedding today. Art, you got a wedding today. And I still wouldn't have known if you'd gone to the wedding until today when we showed up at work.
It would have been nice to get a call.
The last thing you said to me, you invited me to come down to the shore, and you were supposed to call me over the weekend, and that never happened. And I, of course, didn't hold my breath.
I'm sorry.
He's a hurt girlfriend.
You sound like a girlfriend.
I'm just fed up, man.
I can't wait till you sleep. I can't wait till you sleep.
Do I not treat you well?
I think he just quit.
Man. You're great when we actually converse, and I think sometimes we make so much progress, and it's 2 steps forward, and then it's 20 steps back. And now we're back here, and it's like the go-to move is just easier to, blame it on me than it is.
Well, no. I'm agreeing that this is ultimately my fault that I missed the wedding.
Well, I should have had it on I should have been up on it. Isaac, when is that? I'm going to have to remind him about that. I didn't know. Weddings are a big deal. They don't happen a lot. I figured you knew when it was, and you were going to go.
That's all you need to say.
That's it. Sorry.
Let's take a couple calls.
I'm not even necessarily asking for an apology. I'm just saying that it's not so out of the realm that you might remind me about that.
It's not. But then again, the realm has gotten and grown into something so massive that I don't even know if I can handle this realm by myself anymore. I don't know. Yeah, I think I need an assistant, for crying out loud.
Well, it's something we could talk about. I mean, what would your assistant do? Remind you to remind me about a wedding?
Yes. And their assistant would remind them to do that.
Let's go to the phones, guys. Josh in Michigan, you're on the wrap-up show. Josh, you there?
Got me?
Yep.
Calling to defend Teddy here, but before I do that, John Hine, as a Michigan State graduate, I have to say Appalachian State.
I have no idea what you're referring to. Let's move on to the question about Teddy.
No, but seriously, back on topic here. Is this the end, or this is the perfect example of how in America everything is somebody else's fault,
Exactly.
The coffee was too hot. Oh, Artie went out drinking all night long and then slept for 36 hours. I mean, who does that? You can't expect Teddy to...
I do.
So you're saying this is Artie's fault?
This is Artie's fault.
And Teddy did nothing wrong. He shouldn't have been more proactive or anything like that.
Does Artie want a manager or a mother?
Neither. I want an assistant.
Yeah, Teddy's neither. He's not a manager or a mother, but a personal assistant... It's a.
You want to get awkward, Gary? Do you think Ted is a good assistant?
No, but I've told Ted that.
Right.
I don't think he's an awful. I think
why?
Ted, because I see times.
In what areas does he need help?
An area like this, I see times where Ted could sort of. I understand his frustration with you because I've been on the other end of it where you don't want to see him. Like he's got stuff for you to go over. I understand that part, but I think there's times where he can anticipate your needs and he may not do that, or he may not be as thorough. But that's because Ted's never done it before.
Right.
I'm sorry, Ted.
No, you're absolutely right, Gary. When he asked me to do this a year ago, I took the job, but I'm just like you, man. I'm so disorganized anyway. This is not the best thing for me to be doing.
So then
don't admit that to your boss.
Why is an assistant? Then why would you want to become an assistant?
I thought I could do it. I figured I'd get the hang of it. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into.
Maybe it seemed like a cool thing to come to a few gigs and hang out.
I can handle a lot of it.
And answer fan mail.
I can handle a lot of it. I can do a lot of it. But man, I mean, you are like, it's tough. You're not. I bet you a lot of of these assistants. I'm saying I could probably do it for someone with a little more.
It's a paycheck
on your end.
Chris Kattan, maybe.
Teddy, I'm going to tell you something. Seriously, I've seen it all looks good on the surface. In the grand scheme of things, Artie's relatively easy to work for.
It's a job.
I'm telling you, there are people. Again, it's not your full-time gig, so I'll tell you. But you could easily be putting, pants on a hanger in somebody's closet while you clean out the refrigerator while you wait for the cable guy to come.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with show business.
Right. No, you're right. And no, I'm not going to say a bad thing about it, that he's the most generous person in the world.
But I'm saying that
when we're on the road, it's great. But, I'm beginning to get a bit overwhelmed here.
What are the other issues you have with me besides?
Just our communication. That's the only thing. That's it. Just our communication.
So, now, who sounds like a broad now?
I know. Well, you set me up for
our communication.
See, I've been with Artie a bunch of times, and the one thing you don't want to have when you have an assistant is you never want to have a doubt. You don't want to say, gee, when I step off the helicopter, will the car beat it? I'm not blaming this one of you. I'm just giving you an example.
And you don't want to have an assistant who goes, listen, I'm really disorganized.
Well, it's true. I'm not going to lie anymore. I'm not the most organized person.
You don't have to lie anymore. I'm finding that out.
Your honesty is admirable, I think, Teddy, but that was just not the right thing to say.
No. Look, I'm
that would be like me going to Howard a year in. Look, Howard, I'm just not funny. I'm not funny.
All right, I get it. All right. So I maybe just buried myself.
You sound like a dumb guy.
Maybe, I don't care because
there's a problem with it. I know you're not organized.
I hate the way I feel inside now. I just hate this feeling and this uneasiness, this uncomfortable. If we have to end things, then I'll do whatever you want.
Are you saying it's a little bit funny, this feeling inside? Yes. And not one of those you can easily have?
Yeah.
Jay in Texas, you're on the wrap-up show.
How you guys doing?
Good, Jay. What's on your mind?
Hey, Jay. How are you? Are you organized?
I'm doing great, Artie. Hey, Teddy, you're a baby. You know what? Here's why. Artie freaking asked you if you wanted to do it. You said yes. It really is your responsibility to make sure he gets where he has to be on time because, you know what? You knew how Artie was before you took it. So now to sit there and say, well, you know what? You need somebody more organized than me, I think is foolish on your part. And, hey, Artie, one thing for you. I loved your movie. I watched it on Comedy Central on 2 Fridays ago. It was really, really funny. My wife and I actually stayed up and watched it and liked it. And I got a joke for you, Artie. Can I tell you one real quick?
Go ahead.
How do you know Adam and Eve weren't black?
How?
You ever try to take ribs from a black?
Dude, that joke is so old.
Thanks for trying, Jay.
Thank you for liking Beer League.
So, Artie, what is Teddy?
I don't know. Teddy sounds like he wants to quit. I mean, I certainly don't want to fire him.
Well, what's his job? Teddy, do you want? Hold on. Let's wrap this up. Teddy, do you want to keep this job? Do you want to be Artie's assistant? I guarantee you there'll be 10 people here offering to do it if you don't want to.
You're saying you're not organized, and I'm agreeing not.
Greg's ready to take it.
We've done it for a year now, and we haven't even. I feel like now we haven't even made any progress. It's just right where
in progress in what?
Like I figured after a year it'd be so much easier for you to just call me back every once in a while or let me know about this thing instead of letting 3,000 messages build up and then you call me back with a laundry list of stuff to do once a week. It's
I don't know. That's how I operate.
Hey, Teddy,
maybe your assistant can work that out.
My assistant's here.
I got a question for Teddy.
I mean,
new assistant JB. Because everything funnels into me, so I got to ask you a question because I don't know this.
Go ahead.
Is it true that when Artie played Caroline's, you gave everybody the wrong time to be there? Which happens. Like I think Tim, who works here, and Ross,
they showed up. Yeah. It was a big fuck up, man. He changed it from a 2-hour show to a 90-minute show on us at like the last minute. We didn't even know.
What does that mean? You had to tell them the
time. So I thought you were going on from 9 to 10. Instead, you went 8:30 to 9:30.
What are you talking about? The show was at 8.
These guys, but of course they don't want to see your whole show. They only want to show up when you go on.
Tell them the show's at 8.
I did. 8 o'clock show. What time's Artie get on? I said 9. Instead, you went on at 8:30. And they walked into literally Artie Lang going, "Thank you, New York. My name is Artie Lang."
All right, I got to ask you one more question. Is it true that the
all right, enough with these notes, Jim.
Our program director.
Welcome to the show.
Is it true that our program director, who was made late, said Teddy get a clock, and you said fuck you?
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
That's another thing.
I love Tim Sagan.
They think I would say fuck you to Tim, like in broad, in front of everybody.
You're saying fuck you to me. Why not Tim?
I'm not saying fuck you to anybody. Oh Lord.
Can I ask you about the question?
Welcome back.
The kid's priorities.
John, can I ask this guy's question?
The kid has no money. The kid has no money.
Teddy, what do you think your job is?
I don't know.
Like, define your job and then have Artie define your job, and you'll see what the difference is.
The kid has no money, but he has like an $80,000 motorcycle.
Well, I have a lot of problems with spending money, and
that's the other thing. You're horrible with money.
I'm awful
I've
with
never
money.
met a worse person with money. I mean, assistants shouldn't be like that either. They should be the direct opposite of me.
It's like that Larry. It's like that. Remember that Larry Sanders episode where Larry wanted to be in the loop, and then he found out everybody's problems. Like, Artie doesn't want to know the problems, but I knew there was an issue with Artie and Teddy. I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was Artie did a New Year's show, and Artie told me that the entire ride home, you and your girlfriend fought in the limo.
Yeah.
And that's probably something that your boss doesn't want to say.
Teddy, thank God I didn't get drunk that night. It's a big New Year's Eve show, okay? Tower Theater in Philly, 3,000 people, sold out. There's a band coming, big money night. And Teddy takes that opportunity to get drunk while he's working for me. Not drunk, ossified. And he brings his girlfriend with him, who also gets ossified. And it's just me and these two real-world fags in my fucking in my limo on the way home, arguing like two 26-year-olds. That's all I heard. And I almost dropped them off at the Joyce Kilmer and the Vince Lombardi restaurant. And just said, look, I don't give a fuck how you get home. And you know what Teddy said to me? I said, why did you get so drunk? He goes, it was New Year's Eve. Yeah. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was a work night. You were working for me. You got drunk at work. What if I got that drunk?
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
The limo guy didn't get drunk.
What's Vegas?
The limo guy didn't get drunk. You were absolutely right. And that was early in our. That was like the second gig I worked with you on.
The limo guy didn't get drunk. You know why? Because he was working.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He gave me this whole thing, and I felt awful.
The second gig, you couldn't figure it out.
Absolutely right. It was the stupidest move that I made. But after that, I got a lot better. Everybody else is still getting hammered, and I'm good now.
I take the kid to the Playboy Mansion. You talk about perks. I'm performing at the Playboy Mansion. We stroll right in. He's nowhere to be found when I need him. He's buying weed from Sarah Silver by the monkey cage.
All right, you know what, guys? We actually have a professional opinion here to help things out. Shannon, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys.
Now, Shannon, what do you do?
I am a personal, well, not anymore to celebrities, but I was a personal assistant to A-list celebrities for about 6 years.
Shannon, are you the Shannon that used to intern for us?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So I can tell you right now that Shannon, without saying, you can say, I don't know if you want to say who it is, but absolutely, can you say?
Yeah. Well, then my comments will be less if we say.
Okay, so that's fine. But I can absolutely vouch for the fact that she worked for some very A-list people.
Right. Okay. Great.
All right. So Shannon, who's right? Who's wrong here?
Oh my God, Teddy, are you kidding me right now? That's like a dream gig right there. He is ridiculous complaining about. I mean, the Playboy Mansion, all the perks we get. I don't know. If he was being paid to sit in Hoboken for 20 hours, he should have done it.
Right.
I mean,
that's my stance. I don't care how long. Why is it my problem that he's sitting in Hoboken? Exactly. He's paid to do a job. He was supposed to work 5 hours that day. For those 5 hours, instead of helping me, I wanted him to be sitting there.
Exactly, and he should have done it. You know how many times I've sat in the middle of the night bringing chocolate chip cookies to people? I mean,
right. And you bite the bullet.
What you do as an assistant.
Shannon, do you agree that there's a certain level of sort of pride that has to be swallowed, a little bit of subservience that you have to do if this is a position you're going to do?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you have to swallow your pride. You have to just kind of take what it is and take the good with the bad.
It's just so funny, though. There's some stuff that just wasn't his fault, but it's like, okay, so I got two nights of the Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, okay? 2 shows on Friday, 2 on a Saturday. A bunch of guys, opening up for me. I got to fly out there. I got a big money weekend. I got a bunch of friends coming to the show. I need a lot of organizational skills, okay? Because I'm going over actually what I have to say on stage to be funny on top of, a bunch of other things. What, did you have a root canal? It was, right. It's like, yeah, we were there for 10 minutes. He goes, oh, my tooth hurts. we want our way to like a free lunch, and Teddy is in his room the rest of the weekend with a bleeding gum.
But that's the kind of thing that wouldn't piss you off.
I gave him my credit card to go to the dentist.
Right.
Okay, he uses the show to get a free dentist fucking thing, a free root canal.
No, the guy pulled my tooth right out of my head. It was bad luck, but yeah, I mean, even Art, though. But you were nice and sympathetic. I mean,
of course I was, but I'm just saying, it's so funny how, whatever.
And then I walk in at, after
I don't know how I'm the bad guy here.
Well, Shannon, how do they resolve this? What should Artie do?
Well, he definitely needs to be fired. And Artie needs to get a good assistant who, on a Monday morning, will have his agenda laid out for him for the entire week. We'll let him know exactly where he needs to be, what he needs to do, what time the car is coming. We'll have a printed agenda for him. I mean, come on, he sucks. He's got to go.
Well, he does stuff. Okay, but here,
no,
okay,
good,
I
agree.
But what about Teddy's argument? What
Shannon,
about Ted, please? What about Teddy's argument that he's not a full-time assistant?
It doesn't matter. So does that mean he shouldn't work good? I mean, part-time or full-time. I've been a part-time assistant, too, and you still do the job. I mean, you still, I didn't put his wedding date on the calendar. I mean, he's not a good assistant. You need to get a better assistant.
What?
And Artie,
I agree.
I would actually offer to do it for you, Artie, but I love my job. So,
Teddy,
we can help you find one. I'm actually in an assistant group. We can help you find a good assistant who you will not be oversleeping. Listen, I used to wake my bosses up. They didn't even know what an alarm clock was. I was their alarm clock. I would knock on their door every morning, wake them up, and or call
All right, hold on. I have one question for her.
Shannon, we're losing you.
For her.
Yeah.
What do you think a good assistant should get paid? Be honest. Be honest. What do you make from your listers?
Hold on, Shannon. I'm going to tell you. Teddy's a part-time assistant, so he doesn't. Here's the thing that he has to do, and things he doesn't have to do.
Because I guarantee this girl's making $100,000 a year to do this kind of thing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely no way. There's no way. I can tell you.
Not for what he used to work for. I'll tell you, not nearly enough.
Okay. He doesn't have to go to Artie's apartment and do things, and be there all day long. But what he does have to do is basically handle Artie's schedule, take care of his mail, and make sure he knows where he's going. But because some personal assistants literally have to go put peanut butter in the refrigerator.
I know, underwear away. That's fine. I get it.
What about this? So on a Friday afternoon, when you know you're not going to see him all weekend, go, hey, just a reminder, Sunday is, the wedding. Monday morning you have to be here, and I'll talk to you next week.
I haven't heard from him since Friday. He doesn't even call to see if everything's all right.
Right. I check in with my bosses constantly, either on email. I mean, I know you don't use email, Artie, but, just even a reminder on a Friday afternoon and a reminder Monday morning. I mean, it's just...
Right. What do you got going on this weekend? What should we look at this weekend? What's your schedule like? That's all I'm asking.
Hey, Shannon, last question for you. So, you work for, I'm going to be very vague, you work for a singer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but hold on. So when you worked for the singer, around how many hours a week did you put in?
Okay, well, when I worked for just him, I worked probably a good 50 to 60 hours a week when we weren't traveling.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, what did that pay? Because I'm curious to see what a personal assistant gets.
I was probably getting at that time probably about 75, I'd say.
Okay.
For 50 hours a week?
No, but don't forget, he was a singer. We were on tour, 3 or 4 months out of the year. We traveled a lot. When we were traveling, I was on 24/7, and it was always on-call 24/7 gig. I mean, we're never not on call. My phone rang at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Hey, I'm out. I need a car, or where's my bodyguard, or I mean, it was a 24-hour day, 7-day gig. My phone was never off.
Right. Okay.
So I'm talking about being with him personally, maybe 50 or 60 hours a week, but on call constantly.
Okay. Shannon, thanks so much for calling in and giving us a good perspective on this. So does that help at all? Does that clear things up for you guys?
Yeah. He needs to hire someone better.
Well, I'm not even saying I would do that. I'm just saying...
I think you should.
You can see by blurting out that you're not organized.
I know, but I don't think I'm going to take
issue with.
Yeah, and look... Maybe we can work on certain things, but as far as, being as organized as you want me to be, I can guarantee you now I'll never be that organized, ever.
So you can't even see...
That sounds like a resignation to me.
But you can't
I can't.
As a goal, what if I told you, look, I'll give you another 7 months, can you get organized? You can't see yourself ever being organized.
I don't think I'll ever be as good as you want me to be, because there's always something else that's wrong. It's like, you didn't do this, you did that, there's so much wrong. I don't know if I'll ever be as good as you want me to be.
All right, I want to ask Teddy a question.
I feel so fed up right now. I just want to leave the studio and go home. I just want to go home.
Here. This is what this show is about.
I just want to go home right now so bad.
Well, you got another hour and 1 minute.
I'm not being a pussy. I'm just...
I got a question for you, Ted. Answer me really honestly, because
go ahead.
this will tell a lot.
Here we go.
If Artie tripled your salary, could you be that guy that he's asking for?
Look, I'd feel really guilty because I don't know.
Even to triple your salary, do you think you could become that person?
I told him, I brought this up with him. I said, maybe now's the time for us to seriously think about me leaving this job at Sirius and working for you full time. Right. And he's not ready to do that until there's some kind of thing where he, you know, look, I'm not going to get into the details, but he's not ready to do that.
But, Ted, you're not exactly making the strongest pitch here for your skills.
Because I don't honestly know if I want to do it myself, John.
Okay.
I've got a lot of eggs. I've got a nice little cush thing here. Not cush, but I got my health benefits. There's a nice little package here at Sirius.
You sound like a real ambitious kid.
Yeah, well, what am I? And then part of me, you know, look, guys.
What are you, 32 now? I mean,
28.
It's going to be over.
28.
You're going to wake up, it'll be over. You'll have benefits.
Yeah, well, look.
Is that what life is about, benefits?
No, but I mean, it's security, comfort, you know. Look, I'm not saying...
What a disappointment.
Look, I'm just saying... There's a lot. You even said it yourself. We'd have to come up with a number. It would be a lot of money. It would be a big thing.
So what should I pay for a disorganized assistant full time?
Jim McClure's wife is one. He says they make upwards of $80,000 a year. These assistants.
Right. Okay. So you think?
So that's your set. What
but
you
if
pay
I
me
gave
and
you that,
what Sirius gives me, and even more. Like that's not. I'm not even making that.
But if I gave you that, if I gave you the $80,000, what time frame can I expect you to get organized in?
A month.
So now you
4
could
weeks.
see yourself.
I quit here,
right?
And you become my primary focus on everything.
Wow,
that's it. I wake up and that's it.
So you'd be dedicated to just fucking up my life.
Yes, messing up everything. But I would be, you would be the only thing that I ever, which is another situation, because I'm not sure if I want to put myself in that. Like, I don't want now everything to be all you, because
that's what life is, Ted! When you take a job, there's pressure. In other words, like when Howard took this job, he took a lot of money.
You don't understand.
But he's guaranteeing them I'll do a good show. When I take a job, when I take a stand-up job every week, they give me a lot of money, don't they?
Yes.
And I guarantee them I'll put on a show.
And that's why
that's what life is.
I know, it's okay.
You gotta step up and go, look, dude, I promise you, I will, if you give me this amount of money, I will be your guy. I can't have a gray area there.
No, there's no gray area there. It's just, well, the only gray area is whether or not, if I want to do it. That's it. If I should tell you to get someone else, or if I should make you pay me more money to do a better job. I mean, that's it. I don't know what to do. I need to decide. It's really what I want to decide.
So the work level I'm getting now is so at this price I'm only guaranteed this quality.
You're getting what you're paying for. You're getting what you're paying for.
Can you believe this, Jared? Can you believe this will come
Jared
out of American? I'm getting what I'm paying for.
Jared's chomping at the bit.
Yeah, did you send your resume yet, Jared?
So is Greg. Greg's like dying.
I would love
do it. Do it.
First of all, what do you think? I know what I pay you a year, and I know kind of what you make here.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what I kind of just gave you as a little bit of a bonus. It's not. You're not doing so bad. You're not doing so bad.
No, I'm not saying I'm doing awful.
You're horrible at managing money, and you know what? That leaks into my life. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
That's why you want an assistant to be efficient in everything in their life, so their problems don't leak into mine.
Someone like Jared, yes.
Don't you see how... Forget about that. Don't you see how the fact that you're horrible at managing your financial life, don't you see how that's creeped into my life so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So what am I supposed to do? Like, how... I mean, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. Being a personal assistant means taking care of somebody else.
All right, yeah, okay. What? I'm just,
At the same time, I think you're a good kid. I like you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, too. A lot of these people think they can do it, and he's even said it, you know. He said he thought he's going to go through 5 assistants in a week. And I tend to be verbally abusive. No one's heard the, you know, sometimes he can scream and kill you.
I know, and I have no evidence.
Oh, my God,
that you're gay.
I've left phone conversations. Yeah.
I just want to say to the audience, I have because if this ends in a legal suit, I have to cover myself. I have never seen...
It's not going to end in a legal suit.
I have never seen Teddy have gay sex with a man. When I say that, when I call him cum breath and all that shit, that's just like, you know, a boss fucking around.
Look.
Right.
It borders on harassment. Though.
No, it does border on harassment.
A little bit.
Oh,
I've never seen any. There's no
not...
reason you would have cum on your breath as far as I've ever seen.
Thank you. Thanks for clearing that up.
But, no, he's got, you know what, Teddy, he's got a good sense of humor. You know what it is? He's a fun guy to hang out with on a lot of levels if he's not annoyingly drunk. And you know, and look, he's always, when I have a car to pick me up, or if there's something like Letterman or Conan or flying somewhere, I always know when the car's coming. He's on top of all that shit. But my point with him is the attitude of like he says stuff that is flabbergasting to me. Like, I'm never going to be that organized. You're getting what you're paying for.
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, it's like, that to me doesn't, that's not like having a net underneath me in a fire, man. That's what I need, an assistant who's like, wow, you know what, Teddy ain't fucking this up. And right now, I don't have that kind of confidence.
Well, because I'm just, I don't know. It's been a year of doing this, and I can't read you yet. I have no idea whether or not, you know, I'm doing, there's always something else I forget. Artist. I understand, and look, I'm just, you know, I'm starting to realize what this is going to require and how much more it's going to require. And right now I'm at a crossroads.
Does it
like,
really,
do I really
require
want to do it?
that much
yes,
more?
You are.
Really
you are 2 full-time jobs. You are.
I am.
You are. Yeah. But look, I'm willing to do them.
I am 2 full-time jobs.
You are.
See,
between
have
the
you ever
personal stuff,
have you
waking
ever
you
gotten
up.
my dry cleaning?
Yeah, I have an article of dry cleaning of yours at my house.
You do?
Yeah, blue jacket. You wore it.
What's it doing there?
Well, I had it dry clean near me because he said take it home.
One time in a year, you did one.
No, look, I've done. I'm not going to get into tasks and what I do and what I don't do. The point is yeah, it's time to reassess everything. It's been a year.
Would do.
All right, let's have a meeting and reassess everything and decide whether or not you should hire someone else, use me, or whatever. I don't know, but that's it. That's all I can leave it at. And Jared, go ahead, take the stage. I don't care.
Why do you keep going to Jared?
Everybody, he's in here, obviously. I don't know. There's no other reason for him to be in here.
Something to add to this? I don't know.
No, they're saying, everyone's saying be like Jared. Jared wants
Jared. Here's what I know about Jared. I find him to be very organized, and I find him to be very proactive. Jared will
when you look at Jared, you think of like the antithesis of me.
Right, but what Jared
sort of what
that's
I
what
need.
you
When
want.
I look at you kind of look like me if I ate a little less carbs.
But here's what happens. Jared will often walk up to me, and this is, I understand the hard part with you, Artie. One of the most difficult things with you is that you don't do email. But Jared will often email me and then follow up and be in my office.
That's frustrating.
And he'll go, and in my office he'll say, just reminding you that there's a meeting in 5 minutes, even though he just emailed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just got a note that he's a Mets fan. But,
look, all right, I knew this would all come to a head one day, and I'm sorry.
It's not coming to a head. I'm sorry.
I'm not the best at my job. I never claimed to be. That's it. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to quit? Do you want me to just leave?
But I'm almost trying to train you that later in life. Like, I mean, you look what you're saying. You're just buckling under and going, I'm not good.
I might fold under questioning.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well,
yeah, definitely don't hand him any of the contraband when the cops come.
I mean, What? I'm broken now. That's it. I don't know what to say.
You've got a broken assistant, Artie.
I'm broken. This relationship is broken.
I'm hurt.
I'm going to call Dr. Keith Abloh to see if he can fix it.
I need to talk to
All right,
Dr. Keith.
Teddy, let's take a break and we'll see if you guys can patch things up.
You see if you can stop me from jumping off the third.
Or we'll see if
Wow. You broke the kid.
It was great.
No, but in his defense, I mean, I don't think he ever was like an assistant, like someone who takes...
I didn't. By the way, I didn't ask him to do this. He very aggressively came to me and said, "I want to be your assistant."
Yeah.
But the thing that I was talking about, at one point, Teddy said it was impossible to work for Artie because Artie won't stay in touch. Artie won't answer phone calls.
Well, yeah, because I know for me. Like, I have assistants. I have assistants on top of assistants and stuff. And I got Laura, she's like the numero uno assistant. But the fact of the matter is, I still have to keep my own schedule. If I don't, I'm constantly like, Laura, what do I have to do? It keeps me out of control. Like, there's some things you still have to do for yourself.
But what I'm saying,
I do.
Teddy then said, Artie said to him, be at my apartment at a certain time. So Teddy comes to the apartment. Right. He can't get in. He starts calling Artie on the phone. Artie doesn't answer the phone. He sits
Sometimes
there,
I just don't feel like hearing his voice.
Sits there for 2 hours in the car.
Oh, that was his job.
And then he finally gets Artie on the, and he's complaining.
That's
I sat here for 2 hours, and Artie says, that's what I needed you to do at that
Teddy
time.
says it's bullshit. Artie asked him to be his assistant. Come in here, Teddy, and take that up with Artie then, if you want.
I remember differently.
Let's see what Teddy has to say. Teddy, I don't have... What?
There's my organized assistant. You look like a roadie for the Allman
pretty
Brothers.
much the worst thing ever, listening to that back. Howard, I can't
do this, like when I got put on the spot like that.
No, I know. I was being a little cruel there.
You did ask me to do this. I didn't aggressively come to you. You invited me to your apartment on my birthday and said, look, you know.
What?
Yeah, that was
your birthday.
Because I remember it was my birthday.
Well, I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
I got hired by you. No, I mean, it went from fan mail to saying, look, I could really use someone to come around. It was kind of a mutual agreement, but whatever. I mean,
he was comfortable with you. And...
Look, and I like doing it. It's just tough because he's not, like, we don't
but
have
can I explain stuff? You're not playing, first of all, that tape is incredibly edited, and you're not playing everything there. Can I tell him what happened New Year's Eve when you worked for me?
When I got drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah. You told it yesterday.
Well, I mean, again, that wasn't played here. But,
yeah, go ahead.
So I big gig New Year's Eve, right, in Philadelphia.
Right.
And it's a big money gig, and I tell them, look, I'm on stage. It's your job to go get paid and make sure the other comedians are paid. And that's something I need you to do. That's a task.
Okay.
And then make sure the limo's all set because it's a crazy rainy night.
He was drunk, though.
Ted brings his girlfriend. He gets ossified.
Right.
Okay, ossified drunk. And,
that's not cool.
Right, so now I'm scrambling around. I find the promoter. I'm like, is this the right amount? Because my assistant's drunk. So I need to know if this is the right amount. Yeah, I'm doing all that busy work. And then finally, when all that's done, we get in the limousine. It's me, Teddy, and his girlfriend.
Right.
Okay? Now, I just want to decompress. I just did a big show, and I want to sit in the back of the limo and maybe listen to, like, my iPod and just chill out. Instead, for 2 hours, I have Teddy and his girlfriend, who are like the cast of Real World from hell. Two 25-year-olds arguing about their drunken 25-year-old life. And like, you just don't want me to go to work, right? She wanted to go to her work in Hoboken to meet some people. You don't want me to go to work because you're not like, no, I want to go to work. I almost fucking kicked them out of the limo. Right? I mean, I almost kicked them out of the limo twice. And then I said to Ted the next day, I said, Ted, why did you get drunk? He goes, it was New Year's Eve. I go, well, what if the limo driver got drunk?
Right.
Because it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I mean, you were working. And he goes to me, all right, I dropped the ball there. So that's one of, like, you know.
So it sounds to me like maybe you're ready to graduate to someone who is a professional personal assistant.
Right.
And maybe Teddy isn't really wanting to go in that career path. That this was kind of a fun thing to earn some extra money. It started out kind of light. Now it's turning into a real job.
But you see, I like the kid. I'm actually worried about him in life. I don't know what he's going to do.
Teddy, do you want to quit the job and have Artie get some professional... maybe you're ready for a whole different level?
I'm just to be, fair. I mean, obviously, I don't want, I don't want the pay cut. I don't want anything. I need, I love what I do.
He's desperate. Would
it be fair if you could just go along in this incompetent manner?
It's not fair at all. It's not fair.
No, okay.
And he deserves better.
What if he just paid you and you didn't have to do anything?
Well, that's what. And the other thing that bothers me is it was his birthday. I just gave him a nice gift and something.
What do you want? Bonus. You know what?
And now he brings this up where you might want to quit after that happens.
No, I fault you.
That's bullshit.
I fault you, Artie. You haven't told me the job description. What is it you want Teddy to do?
Well, it's tasks that you would assume a personal assistant.
What are they? What is his job?
To a comedian on the road, stuff like I talked about when we're at the gig, organizing who gets paid what.
Cars, planes.
Making sure the car is there when it's supposed to be. And definitely putting together, at the very least, if it's not a personal schedule, a work schedule.
So does he do any of that?
He does, but in other words, like, enough fuck-ups happen to where I can't trust it, Howard.
Right, so you have to double-check.
I'll tell us because we're talking about this. Yesterday, after all that happened, he calls me up and he goes, all right, I got your schedule, man. We're back to work. That's what he says to me. It's
right, good. That's a good attitude.
So he goes, all right, so now coming up, you got this, you got that. Don't owe me, because this is what, this is what happens.
Mistake, bad day.
No, it's not one mistake. It's like, he goes, so you got this gig coming up October 5th. You got this October 9th. You got to tell me what the comedians are. You got Detroit next weekend, September 15th.
Okay, that sounds efficient.
All this stuff. He goes, but then, dude, really quick, you're doing that corporate gig. I agreed to a corporate gig on a rare, I'm doing somebody a favor. Okay. So on a rare work night, I'm going to do stand-up at a corporate party.
Got it.
And he goes, listen, dude, he knows those are stressful for me. He goes, that's coming up next week. That's September 12th. So we got to get going with that. And that's what he leaves on my answering machine. So I start thinking, and this is just in my head, I'm going, that gig isn't September 12th. It's October 9th. I just remember it's October 9th. Like, just my memory. You know? So now I'm thinking, did the guy call and change it to September 12th? Because, A, if the guy did that, I want to punch him in the face. And, B, if Teddy agreed to change that date without speaking to me.
What's wrong with him?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I go, Ted, the first thing I say to him, I go, first of all, Ted, I got your message. That corporate gig, is it September 12th? He goes, yeah, man. I go, Ted, I really don't think it is, man. I think it's October 9th. He goes, no, I got it right here. I got it in my notes.
All right.
So I go, Ted, listen, just do me a favor. Check the emails. Is it October 9th? He goes, fine. I'll go. So this is the attitude. He goes, fine, I'll go through the emails. I get that. Like, fine, I'll go through the emails.
All right.
And he goes through and he goes, wow, yeah, it's October 9th. And
how do you do that, Ted? What happened there?
Like Howard, we're talking about a difference in, like, now I'm thinking this guy called and changed the date.
That's not good.
A corporate gig, I have to get material and write special material.
Then you start saying to yourself, well, gee, what else did he screw up?
Absolutely.
And I've got to double check it.
And this is after that happened on the air. You know?
So, Ted, maybe this isn't your kind of work.
Maybe not. I mean, I like the challenge in it, though, because I do good work.
But Ted, the challenges may be fucking up every once in a while.
These are how the phone calls go. See, you guys are missing the one key element.
Ted,
it's like,
but you got to understand
it's verbally, it's like I'm sitting there like shaking because I'm so worried about it.
But he needs you to be the responsible one.
Yeah, well, how about, like, maybe I need some help.
So
I
you
need to
an
know.
Assistant?
Well, no.
To figure out if it's
kind of help?
No, I need help. Like, how about we did something permanent, like a weekly meeting,
Well, would that help you get October 9th versus September 12th?
I mean,
Google, my Google Calendar or something. I mean,
do you have a calendar?
Yeah, I use it. A Google Calendar. It's like on my lap.
The other thing you told me, are you
so
sure?
when the guy wrote you a note and he said September 12th is the date or October 9th is the date, do you write it down immediately?
I put it right in the calendar.
So how did you get September?
I must have just got dragged up into that date. I swear. That was
then he starts giving me computer stuff.
Maybe you should write it down. I keep a book, a regular written.
So if an assistant did that with you once and got drunk on New Year's Eve and maybe some other things that I won't even get into.
No.
Like, would you trust that the schedule he now gives me is gold?
No, I would make my own schedule.
And do you realize if in my memory I didn't realize that, I would have had to start scrambling to write jokes and then...
No, it would have been a disaster.
You know what I mean? So
well,
but again, the other problem with Teddy is...
First of all, I think you should keep your own schedule, number one. That's my thought, but you're right.
I do. This is a backup. This is a total backup.
The backup's got to be rock solid.
It's clear I keep my own schedule because I knew the fuck up.
One mistake a year, okay, but this is too many mistakes. So maybe this isn't for you, Teddy.
Maybe, yes, but they have an issue here. This is not his full-time job. And Artie needs somebody full-time.
The problem is...
Do you want to have a full-time career as Artie's assistant?
See, that's a huge crossroads because I don't know. That's something I didn't come here to get a job at Sirius to become Artie's assistant. So now it's
the problem is Ted's life.
I don't know which way to go.
Is ruled by money.
Of course.
Okay, but in a different... Like, he's got himself... I won't go into details, but he's in a corner like a lot of young people in this country.
Why are you in such a corner?
Well, no, I got in a little bit of credit card trouble, too. Nothing crazy.
Why do you live above your means? Are there things, your lifestyle you live above? Like, I got to tell you something. I never made any money. Now you look at me, oh, gee.
Right.
I never had any money. Never lived above my means.
Right.
I lived in a dive.
Right.
You see?
Yeah, well, I mean, I live... What is it you're spending money on? Well, I've been supporting two of us.
He's got no money.
I live with my girlfriend who has, been
why
going through school.
Why are you with a girl who's in school and supporting her? Where are her parents?
Well, her parents are here, but we just live together.
That's
I mean, ridiculous. She gets somehow.
Howard, he drives. How much is the motorcycle you drive? He has a brand new motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, then
why do you have a brand? I would never buy a brand new motorcycle with a guy with
He's broke, Howard. He's beyond broke.
It's like $9 grand.
$9
grand. $9 grand is too much.
That's a lot of money.
For a motorcycle.
Yeah, well,
and when I say, why do you have that in your life? See, but don't you understand how, now, again, look, I like the kid too, but if he has money issues, it somehow is going to affect my life.
That's
do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
He might need money in advance sometimes. He might, you know what I mean? Like, whatever happens. But
not good.
And so that worries me.
All right. Marianne from Brooklyn, you're on the air. What is it, Marianne?
Artie, your whole life is ruled by money. You were making plenty of mistakes. The only thing you could do is make a living. You can't keep an employee. You can't keep a friend. You can't keep a girlfriend, a wedding date. And you know what? You started Teddy out with this big grand salary, Everybody was jealous, and now, once again, you want to pull it away from him.
I don't want to pull it away from him. Marianne, I have given him every... You know how many people would have fired Teddy by now? You know how many people would have fired him on New Year's Eve?
Everyone.
Second chance, Teddy, Dana, your mother, Howard.
My mother's in my life.
You haven't fired her.
That woman's gotten too many second chances. Bong hit Eric, you're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Artie, you know what you need?
You
Artie.
bong hitter?
Yeah, it's me. It's been a while. Listen, you need an assistant who specializes in miserable, pudgy, barely shaved, enormous face, self-absorbed, depressed blimps.
Is there anybody who hasn't...
whining, selfish, pompous, pretentious ass baby.
No,
Is there anybody who hasn't looked at the letter on howardstern.com, Artie's letter?
Hilarious.
It's hilarious.
No, but see, that's the thing. I do, in a way. I don't need another guy like me.
Right. No,
Teddy is sort of like
so
me.
maybe you and Teddy have to sit down. Either Teddy takes on a full-time job, or maybe you really are interested in a full-time
But you see, the problem is Ted, that's going to throw his life into chaos.
No,
and I've become sort of friendly with him. Ted, it will do.
No.
You have a lot of money problems right now.
That's my problem. Don't worry about it.
And I can't have you sobbing sometimes about money.
I'm not going to come to you and say,
but you do, Ted. You do, and it's like other people have come to me at gigs and say, because you're my assistant, you get drinks from them. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that gets back to me. And,
what? Because you're... But
whatever, forget it.
No, I mean, look. I think you need somebody definitely more professional at this. I do. I'm saying
I admire you
7 million people.
No, but
I'm willing to take any repercussions, and if that's a financial one, then
if you became the repercussions are financial.
That's fine, then. That's fine.
You want me to pay you for nothing?
No, but look, Art, I'm saying that it's taken a lot of courage for me to come in here and say that. I can't do it.
That's why he's not.
I can't do it. I mean, like, the stress. I can't even talk to you on the phone. It's like,
that's the other thing. He tells me I'm a...
Oh! You're like, ah! You know, like, what? You know, like, Art, hey, it's Ted. I just got to, you got the... And by this point, fuck a schedule. I don't even know what day it is. By this point, it's like, what do you want? You're like,
but it's unprofessional.
And then I just fucking... And then, of course, I get the...
See, I would enjoy
and then
this
it's
job.
back to 2 steps forward and 17 back.
It is funny.
And I'm sitting there going, oh, and I'm walking around.
And now Ted is... Of course, Ted has become, like everyone who brushes up against Howard, they become a little bit of a celebrity. So, of course, now Ted has become a bit of a celebrity.
How about when you bring me out on stage in front of 3,500 people and have them chant homo? How about that?
No,
it's on YouTube and all my friends email it to me.
They chanted it.
Am I bitching about it?
And I did a disclaimer. They chanted it. I just encouraged it.
Oh, you encouraged it.
And I have no proof you're gay.
Look.
Oh,
I'm just going on record and saying
I'll give you my...
He's not a gay guy. He's not a gay guy.
I'm never going to sue
all,
you because of it.
Teddy has inspired me. I have an announcement for Sirius. I can't do this job.
You're not professional.
I'm not professional.
When he says that to me, Howard, my heart breaks. Like, I want to go, Ted, no, you have to. Like, yesterday he goes, I don't know, I just want to, in life, I just want to make benefits. I mean, like, he just wants to make his health benefits.
Well, he's not super motivated in this area.
And look, but what area are you super motivated in?
I don't know.
He hasn't found that area
I just want to dance.
You want to dance?
If you could
Teddy,
dance, that would be great.
And I don't want to talk you out of a job, but I guess you've got to sit down.
I do.
Do you have a dream?
Okay, can I say one more thing?
Not really.
I say one more thing?
You have no dream?
I want to live comfortably and be happy. I wanted to work for you when I came here. I got that. I've gotten every goal I've aspired for.
That's a shame.
He's such a fuck up that he's funny, and I love him. Like, in a way, it's like, so we go to the Playboy. Now, first of all, look at the perks he has.
Yeah,
in the last year, he's
that part he's good at.
In the last year, he's been with me to South Beach twice.
Right.
I got him a room at this place, the Satay, this hotel down there.
Oh,
beautiful.
Okay, so he has the run of places like Carnegie Hall, Symphony Hall in Boston. He came with me to the Playboy Mansion. Yeah. We did, gigs in the Ritz-Carlton in Boston is where he stayed with me. And he's been all over the place.
He goes, yeah.
Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, a free room,
Maybe the problem is he's living above his means because he's living your lifestyle, and then he gets home and he's looking to buy motorcycles.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too. Right. So now the other thing, I also trust him with my money. So he sees what I make.
Right.
Now, I told him from the beginning, I said, Ted, listen, dude, you can't ever bring up in my face what I make. You can't bring it up based on what you make, because that's a whole... And then one time in an argument, he was like, well, I don't make what you make, dude. I'm like, Ted, that's not the issue here. You know? If you're going to be like that, now I can't have you see the checks. It's weird.
Right.
So we go to the Playboy Mansion. I have to do stand-up there. Now, Teddy goes into the Playboy Mansion. First time I lived in L.A. for 5 years, I never got in. So we walk in there, very, very stressful gig. I had to do stand-up in front of a group of people that were getting waited on by smoking hot waitresses, like the owner of the Lakers. No one's listening.
There's a lot to compete with.
But I got guaranteed a certain amount of money, so I had to stay on stage a certain amount of time. I stay on stage a certain amount of time, and then I have other friends coming to meet me who I invited. So there was stuff that needed to happen.
Right.
Teddy gets high. He smokes weed by the monkeys.
And
by the little zoo that
the little zoo, he disappeared. I don't even know where it was.
Did you smoke some weed down by the zoo?
Down by the zoo? Perhaps.
Okay, whatever. So, look, it's weed, whatever. And he might have smoked it with another sort of B-list celebrity. But anyway.
All right.
But so it's like, so now he's high.
He can't be high when he's expected to be working.
I mean, right.
So
now he's like, hey, dude, we're at the Playboy Mansion. I'm like, well, you're working. Do you know how many other friends of mine would have come to get high at the Playboy Mansion? Yeah. I paid him to come get high. But you don't
understand. He was at the Playboy Mansion. You're supposed to get high.
Of course, that was his explanation. Like, that's what his explanation is to me.
No, Teddy, this work isn't for
Teddy,
you.
you're trying to get fired. That's what you're trying to do.
I don't know, but Teddy, you can't go on a gig where the guy's dependent on you. And
I know. Well, I've gotten better. I mean, that was all in the beginning, and I was a real idiot.
No. Teddy, you know what a job is.
But no, now you'll see me on
that was all in the beginning. That was all in the beginning.
Well, I mean, the last bunch of gigs we've had, you said every gig, you're like, good job. It's got, I don't get.
You didn't make it to Pittsburgh. You didn't make it to Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's my fault that the weather delayed a flight.
Get in the car and drive. That's what I did. What did I do?
They wouldn't let me off the plane. What am I supposed to do?
He's always got an excuse.
There's a lot of excuses.
But I mean,
yeah.
All right,
Teddy,
look. I don't even look. I don't know. I just wanted to be.
I want to hear the audio of Teddy is gay.
There's another great Teddy.
Wait. Here's your.
What, on the YouTube?
Yeah, just bring up the Tower TV volume.
Very good.
Thank you. My shining moment, everybody.
That, by the way, is at Symphony Hall in Boston.
Right. Well, you're big time.
But
you've arrived.
Again, and it's like, but I see like hot chicks come up to him and want his autograph. They want to take pictures with him, and he's got to run a Symphony Hall in Boston. And then, okay, we go to Boston. He's got a room at the Ritz-Carlton. He invites one of his dirtbag friends, who now lies to my cousins. God forbid this wasn't my little cousin, because they'd be dead. But one of his friends comes, and my cousin goes to Boston University. So she's there with a gaggle of hot chicks. He tells one of my cousin's friends that he goes to Harvard and bangs her.
Oh, no.
The kid doesn't go to Harvard.
Right.
He bangs my cousin's friend, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know the girl that well. That's fine. And then Teddy's laughing about it. I'm like, I don't want to laugh with you about that.
Yeah,
You're not my friend. It's so low rent.
Watch out. He's supposed to watch
It's
out.
so low rent.
Yeah, you got to take care of him.
I'm like, were you sure he wasn't wasn't telling my cousin he went to Harvard?
I heard you told Tim, Jim, and Jason the wrong time for Artie's Caroline show, and they all missed the show.
Is that true?
Is that true?
Well, that was a big mess up with a lot. You know what? I tell everybody what time Artie's show starts at 8 o'clock, and everybody just wants to know what time Artie gets on.
I see.
But you know what?
So usually it's a 2-hour show. Caroline's changed it on me to a 90-minute show. So
they changed it on you again.
They changed it last second. I didn't know.
It's not your fault.
No, but I mean,
but you have to tell people, look, that is selfish of them. Like, look, fuck you. I don't care if you don't want to see. You want to know what time Artie's show is? You get there at 8, and if you got to sit through 2 other comics, it's not my problem. Tell them that. Artie's show starts at 8 o'clock. I don't need to know what your schedule is.
Right.
They don't want to sit through 2 other comedians.
Started, and I was I'm sorry, the last thing in my mind was to call back Ross Apin and Tim Sabian and say,
that was
by the way, Artie's going to be on half an hour
so
earlier.
in other words, you fell into this assistant's job. It started out as one thing. Now it's becoming more of a responsibility.
Yeah, it's becoming a huge
and maybe it's time for you to decide whether or not this is something you really
want.
want.
But you see, Howard,
Sit down with Artie
we're having fun talking about this. I really, genuinely don't think it's that big of a responsibility.
Well,
I really don't.
It is.
To get a date right.
You're talking
to not get high in a gig.
For whatever reason, he's having a hard time with it.
Really?
He can't do it. Whether it's a big deal or not,
to you, it's not a big
deal.
deal.
He can't do it.
No, to me, it is a big deal. That's why I have...
No, I'm
not
saying to
good
you...
at this shit. I'm not.
Right, but he can't do it.
But, like, yesterday when he got the date wrong, I said, so now, Ted... He goes, wow, son of a gun, look at that. Yeah, I did. I pulled that up. He goes, what happens with a computer...
Son of a gun.
What happens with a computer... He goes, but Art, what happens with a computer sometimes? I'm like, I don't care what happens with a fucking computer.
Right,
what do I care what happens?
That's a problem.
I mean, you know, and I said, so now, Ted, how are you helping me with this date? Do you want to do the gig? I told you the date. Now we're reversing. Why don't you go do the gig now? Because I told you the date.
Could you not get high or drunk at Artie's gigs? Can we start with that?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right. Thank you. Listen, I need to move along, and thank you. I hope you guys work.
He's not fired. I don't want to fire. I really think we can work through this. I really do. I feel bad for the guy. I like him. He's a good guy.
I can see you have affection for him.
I do. I have a lot of affection for him. He's actually funny. I actually think...
Teddy, are you going to hang in there?
I think he'd be a better sort of comedy writer. I don't know.
I need help. I mean, I think that you have a team of people that work for you. Maybe he can bring someone else in for a little help.
You see how Howard's life is more complicated than mine.
Right. You're a close second. I mean, you know,
I play chess on the internet all day.
Yeah,
people have to track me.
Howard has 3 children, and there's a lot going on.
Right, okay, there's a lot going on.
He's running a big business here. I have gigs on the fucking road.
All right, Teddy, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Steve Langford, John Hein, and Steve the intern have updates. I mean, I wouldn't be privy to knowing that.
I don't, you know. I
don't think they have physical altercations, Howard.
No, we never fought. We don't fight. We scream and yell. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Another memorable moment.
Yeah. Tom, go ahead, and then Jason Reitman's here. I want to speak to him.
By the way, I felt that Jason just happened to walk in as Artie was leaving. And, of course, tried to say hello, and Artie, stormed out. And Jason's, all shaken up. He's like, do you want me to come back another week?
No. We want to talk to Jason. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Howard? Hi, everyone. Something about you said that you came to radio for laughs. I mean, we're kind of past that this morning.
Yeah, no, there were no laughs in that. I'll be honest with you.
I think that, maybe today people should understand that this is the way the day's going to go. But, get some of these guys off the phone today instead of making phony phone calls and get with Artie. I'm glad to hear that Benji, just shows you what kind of guy Benji is. Big heart, he's worried about Artie,
Yeah, he is. And we all are. We all are worried, and I don't... do you have any thoughts on that, Gary?
I'm not sure what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Did you not hear him when he left? He said he was crying, and he said, I'm not a good person. And you just said, Gary, that he was shaking your hands for 10 minutes. Artie, I truly believe that, Artie now...
Well, I think somebody should...
Wait, but do you think it should be one of us, or do you think it should be his mom or his sister?
Why don't you give his sister a mom a call?
Do everything you can, because even though you guys said, and Howard, you said that you're not responsible...
No, not that way. I was talking about the fight. I'm talking about... I would love to help Artie out. I love Artie. I adore the guy. I've told him that privately. I've told him that on the air. And what I'd like to do is have somebody... I can't literally go follow Artie right now.
I talk to his sister a lot. I'll go call his sister.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
And somebody needs to make sure they're with him. And as far as Amsterdam, I don't know. Maybe it's okay for him to...
But we're not in charge. I got to explain to
the Amsterdam decision, too.
Yeah, I got to explain to the audience. We're not in charge of Artie's life. I mean, I can't tell Artie not to go to Amsterdam. That has nothing to do with me. Understand that that's a family decision that he should make. And
because Artie is now, he is a friend to you,
yes.
You're a bro. People should feel some responsibility as far as making sure he's not alone. He's not going to do anything stupid.
Yes, well, that's what we're going to try and do right now. Thank you for the advice. Thank you.
Right. I would just say, if that had happened to me, I'd want to be alone.
I would too, but it is a good idea to make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jason's here. Jason picked the absolute worst day to come in.
Yeah, and that's his fault. Don't blame him.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Jason Reitman is a director who had incredible luck.
Yes, Juno.
I mean, wow. I shouldn't say luck. I don't like when people say you have luck.
Right, because he's a talented man.
Kid's talented.
Found that stripper who could write.
Yeah, I got to find out how you do that. Like, if a stripper sent me a script, I'd throw it right in the garbage.
Was she dancing for him when she pitched it, or what?
I don't know. He must have been getting a lap dance. Whew.
I know. There he is.
Oh, there's Jason. Like how Robin now sees you as a sex symbol. Oh, please. Like you were in here years ago.
He was a baby then.
She didn't comment on you being some kind of sex symbol. Now that you're a successful director.
He was young.
Man, we've had an exciting day.
Yeah, seriously, I'm legitimately shaken up.
I am too. If I do a shitty interview, you'll understand why.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I
don't know. That got way out of control.
I've been out of town for 2 or 3 weeks, so I haven't been able to listen to the show in 2 or 3 weeks. I walk in, Artie walks by, and because there's a delay in the green room, then 10 seconds later, I hear him leave this room.
Oh.
Right.
And now I'm just trying to catch up on
what happened
what's going on.
Artie and Teddy is Artie's assistant. And I take full responsibility. I brought him in because those guys were arguing in the hall, and I said, what's going on between you guys? I was curious. It escalated. Artie got really, really violently angry with Teddy. He made a lot of accusations. And everything was just irritating him. Even like the littlest thing when Teddy says Bloomies instead of Bloomingdale's, because Artie sees that as gay.
And Teddy drops the ball all the time, though, correct? I mean, this is part of their relationship.
I always thought it was sort of not a love-hate thing, but almost like Artie kind of got off on
Yeah, like
Teddy.
a little brother thing.
Like a little brother thing. But I didn't realize there's some real anger there.
Well, it's hard when someone's responsible for your life, and I'm not blaming Teddy, but if someone's responsible for your life and they become your friend, and you don't know how to talk to them about these problems, then there's a lack of communication, and then one day you just blow up. But what scares me is that it's Artie, and that he's going away for a week, and the place he's going is Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's a real bad chain of events.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Do you have a locator in his car right now, or do you have anything?
No.
We should LoJack Artie. We should have one of those pet finders in him.
Artie's a guy I work with who is absolutely delightful to work with. He's a great guy.
He seems like a big teddy bear.
And he's funny as hell. I mean, that's why he's here. He's funny.
Well, you know, when you see a bear in the zoo, they look all...
But I don't know. I mean, I just never expected that kind of thing to happen.
And they were fighting in here?
Well, they didn't get together. Artie tried
Benji and a couple of guys stopped him, which is good. Thank God.
Get to him, but we prevented that.
Karen, go ahead. What's on your mind in East Meadow?
Yeah. Hi, Howard. Hi, everybody. Howard, I think you as a boss really need to put an end to Artie. I love Artie. I go to all his shows. I pay $300, have people drop drinks on me, sitting at his events.
Right. And
I love him more than anybody else. But you got to, stop, with him. He's sleeping the whole day during the show yesterday. And you as a boss have to say, Artie, I can't have this kind of thing. And I think that you allow...
I was not bothered by Artie falling asleep on the show. I think that's the Artie we just know, and that's Artie.
That's the Artie we can control.
But the only thing that I can't control, the only thing I have to worry about is people's safety, Artie's safety and Teddy's safety and everyone else's. And I really, I'm perplexed.
You didn't do that today, though. You didn't do that today.
No. Well, how would I predict? How would I do that? I mean...
Because Artie was getting to a point, and you could even hear it on the radio.
No, it escalated. You can ask anyone here. It escalated
rapidly. It was like
rapidly.
a flash fire.
I never expected that.
Very abusive with Teddy and yelling.
Yes,
at him
and I was going to end it, but then then all of a sudden it went berserk.
You should have done though, but you're allowed.
Well, shoulda. I mean, go have a fucking crystal ball, Karen. You know what? If you could have predicted that, you're a better woman than I am.
It might have sounded clearer out there than it did.
Yeah, it didn't seem...
No, it was getting really to a point where it was like you could hear it in his voice, and he was really being mean to Teddy.
Yes, he was.
I don't know any corporation that would allow someone to say that to an employee. I think you guys could have listened a lot, obviously, because you don't have the same kind of...
Artie and Teddy have their own thing. Teddy is Artie's employee. I don't have anything to do with Teddy and Artie's employing thing. I don't have anything to do with it.
I know, Howard, but you brought him into your radio.
Of course I did. And if I could have predicted that would have happened...
Are you two? Do I have to separate you?
You know what? I wish you were here. I'd bash your brains in, Karen. Thank you, Karen. Okay, bye.
But I've heard you even talk to him about how to talk to Teddy in the past. I mean, you've got in there and tried to teach him how to have that relationship and how you have to talk to him about the problems that exist.
No, I mean, I said to Artie...
Well, he was trying to do that today
I was trying to say to Artie, you got to take some responsibility in this. You're talking to the guy inappropriately. You're saying the wrong things. And then he got mad at me. Then he got mad at Teddy. And I don't know what the fuck
Artie
happened.
wasn't being heard. You know how that is when, you know, like, they just aren't understanding me and I can't talk about this anymore.
Yeah,
and often is a voice of reason, though. That's what's so strange to me. I mean, I've seen him try to take the reasonable side of most fights.
I think maybe Artie got mad at me because I wasn't necessarily... I wasn't taking his side.
Yeah.
And maybe he took it out on Teddy.
Well, it was just what I'm saying. He was like, I've got this kid abusing me, and everybody's telling me I'm wrong.
Right. I was just trying to say you got to talk to the guy reasonably, you know, and sit him down and maybe work out your difficulties. If you can't, then you part ways. That's it. And then it's over.
Like an unheated conversation.
Right.
But, you know, it's a tricky relationship employing somebody. I mean, you employ a lot of people, and you kind of understand how to have that relationship. But a lot of people don't really get that. And if you don't naturally employ people and you become friends with them, it becomes difficult to have those types of conversations.
It does. You make a good point. I wouldn't go to Robin and sit there and lecture her on I mean, Robin's my friend at this point. She's not somebody who works for me. She never did.
Dirty as anybody could fight. You know, it was like, Artie was like, I'll reveal this about you, and Teddy was like, well, then I'll tell what you make, and then, you know, it was like crazy kind of stuff.
Well, that stuff builds up. I think all these fights always happen from a lack of communication, and what that at least just says to me is that he doesn't know how to talk to him and tell him, right, look, you need to do these things differently.
That's what I was trying to say. In retrospect, I wish we never even spoke about it on the air. I didn't know. I mean,
we were having a good day.
I was just trying to say.
Really? Come on.
Honestly, in retrospect, oh, you think I'm happy about this? I'm not.
No, I can tell. I mean, look, you don't look happy.
No, this sucks. This is bad shit. I don't want that. I don't want people like ready to kill each other.
I mean.
Well, we're back. I said to Jason Reitman that he picked the worst day to come in.
Yeah, I know.
The whole thing with Artie went down. I'm just really bummed. I mean, I was sick to my stomach through that whole interview, and I told that to Jason afterwards. I said I was just, you know, just really feeling shitty.
Actually, it was nice to get away from it for a little while.
Yeah.
Came right back, though.
We'll do Mike Walker. We'll do a little news, and we'll get out of here. But I know a lot of people on the phone who want to talk about it. And I'm just bummed out that things got so out of control. Yes, Jessica.
Hey, Howard, listen. First of all, you did nothing that you don't ordinarily do. You did it regular, and it's real, whatever you do on the radio. Second,
yeah, no, I don't feel bad about that. I mean, like Gary said to me, if Will and I were out in the hall fighting, Artie would walk in and say, hey, those guys are fighting, bring them in, and let's talk it over. But I don't know what happened.
But I think you should come here. Honestly.
To your house?
Yeah.
I always told him that. I think it would have. I think he'd be a new man.
I'm not even joking this time because obviously I'm single. He needs to just his driver needs to just take him to the airport. I have clothes here and everything. Just get on a plane, get my address, and just show up. I can fix this. He's something, I'm not just about sex. I mean, I could really fix this.
No, I don't doubt that. Robin. There's a girl who knows how to fix things.
She's amazing.
She
really
truly is.
I mean, instead of going to Amsterdam, he can have everything he wants here.
Oh, I bet. And more.
And more.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, Jeff the Drunk, you're on the air.
Hi, Howard.
Yes.
Today is truly a sad, sad day.
It is, you're right.
I know.
Thank you.
Even you can see the significance of this.
Yes, it's very, very bad. Unfortunate.
If Artie was here, he would do an impression of you.
That would be
great.
Killer.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard.
Yep.
Hey, what's going on, bud? I just want to let you know that this has hit the media already. It's one of the top stories on Newsday.com of Artie walking off.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, it was a big thing that went on here.
Well, you know, I'm guessing he's under a lot of stress, and, you know, all the fans fear for him, I'm sure. So hopefully you guys can work this out so we can get him back on the air Monday.
Well, I don't know. You know, that's obviously... That's a tough one. We got to find out what's going on with everyone and how everyone feels and how...
Have you checking up on him?
Yeah, we've already done that.
And he's good?
From what Gary says, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank God for that.
All right.
Thanks, Howard.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye. Steve, you're
Everybody's got this look on their face now.
I'm exhausted. I got to be honest with you. I'm really ready.
Tim looked like he was in tears.
Yeah, well. It's not a great day. Yeah, go ahead.
Just some of the stories we're working on in the Howard 100 newsroom. Howard 100 News covering today's tragic and explosive departure of Artie Lang. His assistant, Teddy, telling reporters this. He just wants to give Artie a big hug. Teddy paying tribute to Artie's gigantic talent, adding he believes Artie will be back. Artie cannot leave, Teddy says.
All right.
Jim McClure's on the board. Teddy's taking a little break, getting his head together. Your calls, 888-STERN-100, 888-783-7610 to talk about certainly a memorable Thursday show. We joke around about the dance party and Jason Reitman coming in and having not such great timing. But, the thing we're all talking about is what happened today and how everybody's feeling. And really,
it was an interesting day, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it on the air, and everyone is sort of shell-shocked, I guess is the right word, because I don't think anybody saw that coming. And Artie clearly is upset. Teddy's upset. Everybody's upset, and it's almost, I would say, Gary, the first time where I thought Howard just couldn't go on. I mean, he went on, obviously, but he just wasn't all there.
It was very upsetting to everybody. I mean, I don't think it wasn't a person in the office that wasn't affected by it. And, I'm not sure that anybody knew what to do. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I'm curious to take a bunch of calls, at some point, and I'm just curious to get the audience's take on it. I mean, there's two distinct ways to go on it. I'm sure we'll hear both sides, but I'm just curious what the audience thought.
Well, we'll definitely go to calls. They're already filling up, but while you guys are here, we all had different vantage points on it, so let's dig in a little bit on what happened. Teddy's out in the hallway, I guess, talking to Artie. Was anybody out there when it happened? Can anybody say sort of what that conversation was? I know it was about the passport.
I didn't see it.
I just got a note from somebody at Howard TV that they were screaming at each other in the hallway, so of course we put up a note immediately, which we do for anybody that would be in a fight in the halls.
Right, I thought that was a good point to make, actually. That's what happens if, J.D. and Jared are fighting for whatever reason. That's going to come up on the air, and that seemed natural.
Yeah, I mean, basically Artie just called him an asshole, screaming at him, so it was, they were fired up for a second, and then it went on into the studio.
Which he's also done before.
Right.
Like Teddy.
That was nothing new.
Yeah, Teddy and Artie have always had that relationship where, they sort of insult each other, kind of a brotherly, if that's the right word. But brothers fight, and sometimes they fight pretty viciously, and that's what it led to. So anyway, Artie starts talking about what's going on, and Teddy, in turn, comes in to tell his side of the story.
And Teddy was sitting in the back office, and he's like, oh, do I really have to go in? And I was like, go in, Teddy.
No, he was not wanting to go in.
He was not wanting to go in. But again, nobody saw this coming. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Teddy might have, it sounds like.
Yeah, maybe he did, but it wasn't like Teddy said to me. Teddy didn't say to me, Gary, I'm afraid to go in. Teddy's like, I just don't want to deal with this. But I'm in a weird position. Because hey guys, sorry, I'm in a weird position because Howard's going, Gary, where's Teddy? Where's Teddy? And I go grab Teddy. I'm like, Teddy, you got to go in, or I'm going to get yelled at. But Teddy didn't say, I don't want to go in. He's just like, all right, I'll go in.
Now, in that situation, you're doing your job, and Teddy goes in, and they start having this discussion, and clearly things are there that weren't just about today, but. Bottom line, somebody pushed somebody's buttons, and then Artie just couldn't hold back anymore. Now, J.D., when you're on the road with these guys, I'm sure they have a similar relationship where they're going at it all each other all the time. And Artie's wit, can be vicious, but Teddy seems to give it right back.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's all I usually see is Artie busting major balls, and Teddy sort of taking it. And, I never thought it would escalate to something like this. But, nothing like this, nothing like what I saw today, I saw, coming from being on the road.
Would you say they get along pretty well? I mean, everybody's got their issues. But...
I wouldn't say they get along all that great. I don't know if they're friends. I wouldn't even call them friends.
There's one thing I'm unclear on. Is Teddy still Artie's assistant?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think
that was sort of a joke.
No, I know.
I mean,
so is my response.
Have you taken one giant step forward?
No, but
you know what? If Artie thinks Teddy is a bad assistant, then he would think I would fucking just be.
But you said that as a joke, but it does seem within the realm of possibility, at least for Artie, that he would keep Teddy as his assistant.
I don't think so anymore. I mean, did you really think after today?
They got to fight. I don't know. I mean, it got physical, but things get physical sometimes, and people are able to overcome that pretty easily.
I mean, Artie wants...
I'm friends with guys I've gotten in fights with before.
Yeah, but there's fights that you get in, and
I mean, yes, it was no doubt. It was very serious today, and it made cost people their job.
And Artie wanted to, choke him to death.
That's how you get when you want to fight somebody. But then I guarantee you Artie's not anywhere near as angry as he was at that moment. I bet 5 minutes later he wasn't that angry.
Of course, I disagree. Actually, I don't think he's as angry now as he was then, but I think he's still angry, just not at that level.
Well, I don't think he's as fired up, but I agree with Will. The only difference in the situation, though, is that you got somebody who works for somebody else.
Well, that's the issue, right?
It's not like you and your buddy or you and somebody you're related to.
That's what makes it different. You can't do that at work.
Right. So, before all this happened...
Yeah, we're looking at your notes.
Yeah.
John does a rundown for the wrap-up today, and usually it's minimally in 4 parts. It'll be like, Joan Rivers was in, and it's got a bunch of bullet points under it. All that I see today is Artie versus Teddy and 30 bullet points.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but before all this happened... Artie was in a great... I mean, we were talking about what a great mood Artie was in today.
Right. Well, he got, according to Artie, he got somewhere around 17 to 19 hours of sleep.
And that'll do it.
Yeah, no, he was in a great mood, though.
All right.
He was dancing?
When you go to the calls, I just because I'm curious, I'm dying to know what Line 7 has in mind.
All right. Brian Fallon, what do you want to say?
I was there when it started, actually, in the hallway. And what happened was I was just, making sure everything was cool for today, that we were all going. And Artie and Teddy were talking, and Teddy had mentioned that he needed his passport to get him checked onto his hotel.
Yeah, no, I mean, we sort of covered that on the show.
But what happened was, I thought Artie was fooling around like he always does, busting his balls, and then it just escalated on the air into what happened.
Does anybody here think that today's fight was about Teddy forgetting a passport number? It was about the way that they communicate with each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Teddy forgot a passport number. Artie could live with that. I don't think what he can't live with is that he felt that he was getting talked back to, and then it got into the air.
That's exactly what it was.
And then listen, I came in and I told the story about how I had heard that Artie and Teddy were arguing during the week, and Artie said, Teddy, you keep forgetting stuff, and Teddy's like, you forget stuff too. And I wouldn't have told that story if I thought it was going to make Artie angrier. It's this is what we do. We air out our dirty laundry. It's what people love about the show.
You wanted him to get angry. You just didn't want him to punch Teddy.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was going to get to it. I mean...
Right. But stir the pot here. That's what this show is about.
But I mean, Artie knew that as a fan when he was on the docks, and he's been here. And I made the point to Howard, if Will and I were out in the hallway, we're arguing, and the door opened up, and... Or Artie had just seen us arguing, and he walked in with his 2 high C's or whatever, he would go... Howard, you got to see fucking Will and Gary are out there fighting.
But the thing that's confusing to me about this isn't what Brian said. Isn't that the dynamic of their relationship already? I mean, JD, you're probably the best one to answer this question.
It's been festering, though.
But don't they treat each other like that always?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I don't know. I think it was more than just their communication that came out of.
I think what happened in the hall was that Artie said, talked to him about getting his passport, and when he said the crack, well, let me know when we're going to Spain, that just threw Artie into a tizzy.
But again, it's not just about the passport. But you're right.
Tizzy, and that's what it did, and it freaked him out, and that's what really made him blow up.
And Artie's so funny. He's funnier when he's angrier almost, so it's very hard to tell when he's really ready to kick somebody's ass and when he's just being, sharp.
All right. Well, I was going to say, I'm not taking sides on this at all, but I thought that one of the funnier parts of it was how upset Artie was by the fact that Teddy had said that he went to Bloomies. That really irritated the shit. And I don't know, maybe it's just a culmination of things.
Actually, I think you know exactly what that is. If you're pissed at somebody, it's those little stupid things that set you off the most.
One time in a car, Artie was talking about Catch a Rising Star. And Teddy didn't know what Catch a Rising Star was, the club or whatever.
Right.
And that Artie was... He wasn't livid, but he wouldn't stop busting Teddy's balls out for an hour.
But that's busting balls. he was genuinely angry that Teddy said he couldn't find something Artie needed at Bloomie's in front of, like, some Hollywood bigwigs. And I just thought that was... I'm humored by that. It's funny.
It's like getting mad at somebody for wearing a pimp outfit on Halloween.
Oh.
There's a lot more to that, Jim. Thank you.
How come you never been able to tell us what that is?
Might have to call him Jimmy Microphone now.
Oh.
All right. Jim, let's play clip one. This is when things got really heated and Artie ended up, acting out, I guess.
We're definitely angry with each other. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, and it spiraled out of control, and I'm sure both of them regret where it's going. But
you listen. You do get. Will is right. I mean, I've had arguments with friends of mine. I don't think I've ever had fistfights with friends of mine, but you get into arguments, and you can't. Jackie always used to have a great line. Somebody who you don't like can't piss you off. So on some level, they must like. In other words, you can't get pissed off by somebody unless you give a shit about them. Right. Because you don't care about them, you're just like, fuck you, walk away.
All right, let's go to the phones. We're talking too much. Let's hear what everybody else out there has to say about this. We'll go to Anthony in the Bronx. Anthony, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, how are you guys? Listen, I don't know, maybe I'm analyzing all this differently, but you guys hit on some of the points already. But Teddy was wrong for rubbing it in Artie's face. He should have just agreed with him and should have just talked about it off the air. He should have told him, I can tell people what you make. I want a % of your money. That's none of his business.
Anthony, you're right. You're right about that, but this isn't about. You're right about that. Maybe, but they both said things that they should have said. Like Artie gave out Teddy's salary, but again, whether somebody's right or wrong on what they say, I think it's up to the person to have restraint. Don't you agree?
Let me tell you, I work for a family business, and there's nothing more than knowing that my uncle could make $1 million on a job, and I'm over there pushing that job, and he makes that $1 million. He doesn't turn around to me and say, you know what? I made $1 million profit. Let me throw you a % of that job. You know why? Because I get a salary, and that's what I make. It's none of my business. When his business is doing bad and he's not doing good, he doesn't come back to me and say, you know what? Let me get the salary that I paid you because I didn't do good this week. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not right. Everybody poked at Artie. Artie was 100% right for getting mad. Everybody started poking at him and telling him, you should agree with, just taking Teddy's side was 100% out of line.
Well, who took Teddy's side?
Listen, Gary, no offense. I love you and everything. You came into the studio also throwing wood to the fire saying, well, Teddy forgets things on the copy machine. You seen how Artie was getting mad. Artie was screaming.
Okay, but even at that point, Anthony, you saw that Artie was going to get that angry at that point?
Honestly, it is a love-hate relationship. Artie does like the guy a lot.
But answer the question, Anthony. Did you think he would? Did you think at that point that he would get that mad?
Honestly, yes.
All right, then you see it better than I do. I got to tell you, it wasn't that obvious.
Gary, I don't know if it's because I'm Italian and Artie's Italian, but I've experienced that with one of my friends where.
Anthony, it's a good thing I'm not Italian.
So much. Listen, let me tell you, Gary, I've helped one of my friends so much. He has nothing. He's down and out. I couldn't understand where Artie's coming from. I've given my friend thousands of dollars to help him, in his life, because nobody's ever taken care of him. He doesn't come from a good background. He doesn't come from a good family. Nobody ever did anything for him. So for him if one of my friends have turned around and act like I've never done anything for him, I literally jumped over the table to choke him. But do you want to know something? Today, as of today, 5 years later, he's still one of my best friends.
But so Anthony, would you? Because this is a different situation. That's friends, and again, that's a specific situation. If you guys worked together in an office, would you have done that?
In an office, honestly, the way you're not supposed to. You're right about that. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be professional. Absolutely.
Listen. It's a hard thing to They both threw a lot of allegations both ways, and I don't think anybody said, that. Do you think that they took Teddy's side?
Honestly, Howard should have maybe kept on trying to resolve the issue. What should have happened when Artie started screaming? I think at that point Teddy should have knew just to shut up. Don't zing him with saying what he makes. I could tell everybody what you make, and just don't zing the boss. He's the boss. Ultimately, he's Teddy's boss. He should have just shut up and should have just took it and waited for a better time to talk about it, because Artie clearly was freaking human.
Yeah, but Anthony,
I talked it through the radio.
Anthony, clearly different people react in different ways when they feel like their back's being put up against the wall. Some people just shut up and walk out. Some people will, jump across the table, like you said, and maybe Teddy felt that, he wasn't going to take it or whatever, and that's just the way he reacted. And getting back to what Gary said before, and you guys, I don't know if you feel any differently in the room, I don't think anybody saw what happened coming at all.
Well, and again, I'm sorry, going to Anthony's point of view, think of the greatest fights in the history of the show, the ones that everybody goes, God, I loved it when AJ and Donald Trump fought. I loved it when Stuttering John got into an argument with Cabby. I love it when Gary and John fought. In none of those, we all felt that you could push it to let people, in other words, nobody said, okay, only let it get to a certain point, but you got to see that this could go like this and go like this, because I think we trusted everybody to not let it get physical. And so we trusted Artie to let it not get physical, and we didn't know this was going to happen. Listen, if I knew that the way it ended was the way that it was going to end, I would not have gone in the studio and poured gas on the fire. But I thought it was just another one of our family fights.
Right. And hindsight's 20/20.
That's right.
JD.
I don't think anyone was taking Teddy's side or anything. I think they were more taking sides with how they reacted, like how Artie reacted and Teddy reacted. That sounds totally stupid.
What?
Forget it. That's the last time I make.
I think it's ridiculous though to say that like nobody had any idea that Artie could do this because he's done it before.
Yeah, but did you think that when Teddy went in there that it would end like this?
No, absolutely not.
I'm not saying that nobody thought, but we just thought that I thought I thought Artie was going to do? Artie was going to get pretty serious about, have a real conversation about why they were fighting and, be mad at Teddy and either resolve it or not resolve it.
In fact, because it has happened before, you would think it would never happen.
That's right.
Again.
That's exactly right.
That's right. It gives you another reason to think it's not going to go there, and it did. Ro in Connecticut, you're on the wrap-up show. Thank you for your call, Anthony. Sorry about that. Ro, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys. I have a couple of questions, and I also actually want to say that I kind of disagree with what that first caller had to say. I don't think it has anything to do with Artie being Italian or anything like that. It's just you can't judge a person's temperament. You can't really guess what's going to happen from one minute to the next with somebody when they get ticked off. But what I wanted to ask was, the first thing is, do you think that do you guys second guess now your relationship with Artie now that something like this has happened because you don't know if he could be this way with you? And also, is the, I guess, AJ Benza rule going to come into play now? Is he going to have to leave the show, or are things going to, be resolved in a certain way?
All right, I'll answer the second question first as best I can. First of all, Artie has left the show. So I don't know where it goes from there. Do you know what I mean? In other words, was it clear, did Artie leave today, or did Artie leave today for good?
Right, that's what I mean, I'm not really clear on that.
And then,
I don't think I think he said that out of anger, and he was really frustrated and upset, and he didn't, I think he said that because, he was just, it was like a heat of the moment thing, and I'm wondering, is he going to be, is he going to be able to come back?
Yeah, and I can answer that question by telling you that we're at a different company, and I don't know I haven't spoken to anybody here about it yet. I came right over from our show to the wrap-up show, so I don't know the answer to that. And then what was the sorry.
Well, no, but Ro, getting back to what you said before, I think I agree with you in the sense that Artie just couldn't take it anymore, and he just wanted to get out of the studio, and that's why he said, I'm out of here. But who knows? Well, only Artie knows what that really means.
What did you get out of it?
I don't think that he really planned on leaving the show for good. I think that he just needed to get out of there, and if that's what it took for him to get out of the studio, to say to Howard, hey, I quit, I resign, I think then he was fine with doing that.
To answer your question, Gary, I think at that moment, he didn't want any part of this place, which I can understand based on what just went down. 10 minutes later, he may be thinking something completely different.
Right, because now going back to what Artie's talked about on the regular show and the wrap-up show over the last year about, I don't know how long I could stay here. I love you guys. I love the show. I hate the hours. The hours are grueling. I don't know if I could do this forever. Do you think that maybe he left? And listen, I don't think there's a soul in here that thinks that Artie woke up this morning and said, today's the day that I'm not going to be here anymore.
Right.
Right? We agree on that.
Agreed.
But do you think that he said that in anger, but now he's thinking like, all right, maybe it wasn't the best way, but maybe this is what I want? Or do you think, without Artie, you can't answer any of these questions?
Right, we could speculate all day. Only Artie knows that. But looking at today's show, earlier in the show, when Howard was talking about going to afternoons, Artie made the comment, oh, my God, then I wouldn't even think like I had a job. I would come in here and just hanging out with friends for a few hours.
And I got to tell you, having worked a year with those hours, Artie's absolutely fucking